Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. She is an author, writer, journalist, and podcaster as well, no other than Miss Natasha Tynes.
Hi, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to Book 101, Miss Natasha, and can you please introduce more about yourself?
Sure. My name is Natasha Tynes. I'm an author and a journalist and a ghostwriter and a book coach. I was born in Amman, Jordan, but I've been living in the US for 20 years. I run my own media company. It's called Suburban Media Group, where I help authors publish their book, whether by ghostwriting their books or by coaching them through the process. And I also publish my own books, and I publish in newspapers and magazines since I'm still a working journalist.
Miss Natasha Tynes, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. And today, let's talk about how to self-publish a book. What's the first inspired you to self-publish, and why did you choose over traditional publishing?
Sure. So there are many reasons. I think one of the main reason is that first of all, self-publishing has advanced a lot in the past, let's say 10 years or so. And like in the past, there might, people might think there was a stigma against self-publishing a book, but that completely changed with the advent of services like Amazon KDP and Ingram Spark and others. Um, and for me, it makes more sense because I have control over everything. I have control over the cover. I have control over the editorial part. I have a control where I want to sell the book and how to sell the book in which format. And plus, I also can publish it much faster than traditional publishing, because traditional publishing takes a really long time, like almost 2 years, and you have to find an agent, and finding an agent can take another 2 years. So it's a very long process. And for me, I already have an audience, so I can sell directly to my audience. And plus, in the financial sense, you get most of the royalties when you're a self-published author. While if you're traditional author, you might get a small advance, but the royalty is very small, like 10%, between 10% and maybe 40%, which is very low. And for me, I have a team that I work with for any of my self-published books. So I have a cover designer, I have an editor, I have a typesetter. I managed to do that professionally.
Well, Miss Natasha, what's the biggest misconception about self-publishing that you'd like to clear up?
I think the biggest misconception is that you don't sell a lot of books if you self-publish, which is, I think it's completely false, because even if you have a traditional publisher or a hybrid publisher or whatever, you still have to do the work, and the publishing agency are not going to do the marketing for you. So on the contrary, when you self-publish, you're actually more involved in the marketing, because all the marketing is on you. So you end up reaching out to more people. You put yourself in many places, and on the financial side, you can actually make more being self-published. So I think the misconception of not selling enough books because you're self-published is no longer the case.
How do you know if self-publishing is the right path for your book?
Good question. I think it depends on, are you willing to wait 2, 3, 4 years until you get to that route? And if you're okay with that, then, good for you. at it. For me, I did not want to wait that long for any book to be published. And so that's why I knew it was for me. And plus also the control. I didn't want to have a gatekeeper on tell me like what I can say, what I cannot say, and all of that. So I think that's what I realized. And I also know it's for me because I already have an audience. And when you have an audience, like, I feel I already validated my ideas, and so I went for it, and so far it's been working really well.
Congratulations then, Miss Natasha, and thank you for sharing your empowering answer to us. Let's talk about the writing and editing process. What's your advice for turning a rough manuscript into a polished, publishable book?
So in the beginning, you can have your beta readers, like a group of people that can read for you the book first, but always hire an editor. Like, do not depend on your friends and family to edit your book. You have to always you have to hire a professional editor. So that would be my advice for sure.
And how important is professional editing, and what type do you recommend?
It's very important because if people pick up a book and there are I'm not only talking about grammatical mistakes, but I'm talking about like developmental editing where like the plot, the character development, all of that. If people and readers are usually smart and they can pick on that, and then so they want to recommend your book and they want to buy your other books. And to find a professional editor, there are many ways. There are like sites like Reedsy, where editors put their profiles and you can choose from them, or like Fiverr, Upwork, or recommendation. The editor I have now is from recommended. Was recommended by another author. But there are many ways of you finding a good professional editor.
Many ways indeed. And Ms. Natasha, should authors hire better readers or editors before publishing? How do you find good ones?
Hire readers. I don't usually hire readers. I sometimes pay for services that would give the arc or the manuscript to readers for free in return for them to give an honest review. But I don't like hire editors directly. Readers directly. For editors, as I told you, it was recommended by a fellow author, but there are other platforms like Reedsy or Upwork where you can find them.
And Ms. Natasha, design and formatting. What are the key elements of a professionally designed book cover, and where can authors find affordable designers?
Yeah. So I would say stay away from AI covers. I understand some authors don't have the money to pay for professional designers, but you can easily tell if the cover is designed by AI. And people actually judge the book by its cover, so you would lose a number of readers if you just depend on AI. So, and try to, as much as you can, save up money or whatever and hire a book cover designer. Mine was a friend of mine who's actually a book designer, and I've been working with him on other projects for, I don't know, over 10 years. So for me, that was natural. But the same site that I mentioned, Reedsy, they have all sorts of editorial services, including book cover designers. And there's also a lot of them on other marketplaces like Fiverr and Upwork.
Ebook versus print? What are the biggest difference in formatting and how do you handle both?
Good question. So as I said, I also have a typesetter. I mean, you can do that on your own, but I just did not want to mess with all the formatting and Adobe Acrobat or Adobe InDesign and all of that stuff. So I just hired a typesetter. I gave her the manuscript ready and edited, and she converted it for me into different formats. Like I think it's called EPUB, which is for Kindle version, and the PDF. And so she did all the formatting for me and just made it much easier.
Miss Natasha, what are some common formatting mistakes self-published authors make and how can they avoid them?
Mm. They can avoid them by hiring a professional one. Another thing, there's a software that you can install that can format the book for you. I forgot what it's called, maybe Vellum or something like this. And yeah, it's called Vellum. Yeah, that's the name of it. And you can put it, I never tried it, but I heard a lot about it. But that is, I think, a cheaper way. But you have to buy the software and then you can put the manuscript and it can format it. For me, I feel if you're not a professional formatter or a professional, do not bother. I like either get that software or hire someone. So the mistake of you trying it to do that on your own, it can mess with the formatting of the book. It can be hard to upload it on Kindle. It won't look good. So I would just say invest in either that software or typesetter.
Publishing platforms and distribution. With self-publishing platforms like Amazon, KDP, Ingram Spark, do you recommend and why?
I would say go on all of them. I mean, I try to put myself out everywhere, but the main one is for me is Amazon KDP, and then I branch out. And Amazon KDP because everyone automatically goes to Amazon to buy your books or the digital or the print. And Ingram Spark, I use it for them to put it to distribute it in bookshops. So Ingram Sparks is for distribution in bookshops.
How do you decide between exclusive KDP Select and wide distribution or multiple platforms?
Um, I chose KDP Select because of the outreach, and it's very advanced. So for me, it was a no-brainer, and I published previous books on KDP Select, and it's not exclusive to KDP. I can publish it on other platforms, but it's the main one. And when I have the time, I can branch out on others. But this is the biggest and most advanced one, so that's why I went with it.
And what are the pros and cons of print on demand versus bulk printing?
Mm. I like the concept of print on demand because you never have extra copies that you have to get rid of. And you see that sometimes, I think bookstores, sometimes they actually get rid of the books, like they, trash them. And that's for me is heartbreaking. So I think it's more even environmentally friendly to just print on demand, and it makes the cost much lower. So I want to buy a book, I tell Amazon, Amazon prints it for me. Just easy. It's very easy, and I like that.
Very easy indeed. Pricing, marketing, and sales. How should authors price their books to maximize sales and profit?
So usually there is a calculator in Amazon KDP, depending on which country you're based, and it tells you if you um, price it this, then your royalties will be this. And so it guides you through the pricing process. That's one. And also, for me, I usually make the Kindle book very cheap. Now it's like selling for 99 cents. Just as a promotion. And that's what I love about KDP is I can change the price anytime, and I can say, hey, I'm selling this for 1 cent or for 99 cents, and you can get more sales this way. But for me, I adjust the price based on what the market is. So like for a paperback, between like $14 to $16. I try not to go above that. And for Kindle, maybe $10 if I want to get rid of the promotion.
Miss Natasha, what's the most effective marketing strategy you've used to promote a self-published book?
Oh, yeah. So for me, I have a newsletter which has around 3,000 people. That was like the first thing I did is I emailed my newsletter and I told them. I also got some traction from TikTok, from recording some TikTok videos. And I partnered with some book talkers, but still, I don't think that made a big difference. Um, Instagram, social media as well, and podcasts. I've been appearing on a number of podcasts. Uh, but honestly, I feel for me, what really made a difference was when I read from the book, and like maybe I read a few sentences from the first page of the book, and it made people want to buy it. So I recorded the video, me reading, and I just said something about it, and they liked it, and so they picked it up.
Miss Natasha, as an author, writer, journalist, and podcaster, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
I think my short-term goals is to keep promoting my books and keep publishing books. I think the long-term goals is, I guess, financial freedom, where I don't have to depend on client work, and just to have my creative work, like my books, you know, create income for me, rather than me, have to do client work to pay my bills. I think when you reach that point, which is you completely depend on your products to create a sustainable income, I think that's when you realize, okay, this is enough. I made it.
Yes, definitely. Good luck to your goals and looking forward for more success. Miss Natasha, and what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be an author, writer, journalist, as well as podcaster?
Mm. Honestly, my advice is has nothing to do with writing. It has to do with taking care of yourself first, and I would say hit the gym. Because being an author or an entrepreneur, or it requires a lot of thick skin, a lot of resilience, a lot of ups and downs. And if you don't have a plan where you take care of yourself mentally and physically, you will burn out. And I think the first thing is focus on the infrastructure, which is you, the hardware, and take care of yourself. And then after that, start by reading, getting inspired by other people's work. And then I would say, if you want to actually publish a book, you have to treat it like a job. Don't treat it like a hobby. You have to show up every day and have a schedule and a word count, and think of it as a project, and you're the project manager. You cannot just wait for inspiration, or you cannot throw words like writer's block. That does not work. The book won't write itself.
Thank you for that advice, Miss Natasha. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Oh, yeah, there's a book that I recommend to everyone, which is, it's not really about writing, but it's about the mindset, about the abundance mentality, and it's called Think and Grow Rich. And Think and Grow Rich really influenced me in terms of you focus your mind on a goal, then everything happens within you to make that goal happen. And it was very transformative in how I view things, on how I realize if I want to achieve a goal, I have to like really make my mind very super focused on it and how I can get it.
Thank you for that recommended book, Miss Natasha. And how can self-published authors turn one book into a sustainable writing career?
Mm. Yeah, so the book itself might not make you like hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the book can can open opportunities for you. So people would look at your resume and you see you're a published author. So you get invited to speak at conferences, you get invited to teach, you get asked to coach other people. You basically you people see you as an expert just after publishing a book. So it opens many doors for you, especially if you publish a nonfiction book in your area of expertise. And yeah, so the monetary reward is not only the sales of the book, but also the other opportunities that publishing the book brings.
And Miss Natasha, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please listen to my other podcast, people, my other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season, abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too, comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well, geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast Law 101 and mental health 101. Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review and Music 101 in fourth season, and Science
Wow,
101 and Sex 101 in its
that's a
fourth
lot.
season.
That's a lot of podcasts.
Yes, please listen to them wherever
I
you
will.
listen your podcast. So thank you so much, Miss Natasha. And the hardest part of self-publishing, and how do you overcome it?
The hardest part of self-publishing, I think, is trusting yourself, honestly, because most of the journey is you on your own, and you fighting your own mind, and trying to stick with the discipline, trying to tell yourself, you're this is gonna work, you're doing the right thing, people are gonna. So I think the hardest part is really battling what your mind tells you, and what your mind trying to tell you that it's not true, and the dark thoughts in your head that makes you want to stop or want to give up.
Miss Natasha Tynes, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your books, your advocacy, as well as your podcast itself?
Thank you very much, Daniel, for having me. I enjoyed our discussion. So you can find more about me and my work on my website, natashatynes.com. I'm also on the majority of social media channels. My books are, we have They Called Me Wyatt. It's a murder mystery novel. And the last one is Karma Unleashed. And I have also short story in this book here, stories from the center of the world, and other short stories published elsewhere. So please feel free to reach out to me, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Natasha Tynes, because if you support her, for sure, more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering episodes of the podcast itself to come. So, Miss Natasha, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for having me. Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.
Take care. Bye.